Good morning, everyone. I hope you are all doing well, and if there are any issues, please be patient. My name is Claude Mabula, and today we will be talking about the key figures in Donald Trump's new inner circle. We'll also look at how Trump's administration is taking shape with new roles for his allies and loyalists. The third article today covers Trump urging Putin to avoid escalation in the Ukraine war. The fourth article discusses how people in Malawi are saying they've lost everything and are struggling to rebuild. The last article for today reports that in Malawi, daily access to food has become a struggle due to climate change. These are the articles we'll discuss today. But before going into details, let me take a moment to thank you. We greatly appreciate everyone who follows us on our YouTube channel, especially those who have subscribed. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you very much. For those who haven't subscribed yet, we encourage you to do so today so we can share these updates with you. We also want to greet our friends from Rwanda, from the Eastern Province, Southern Province, Western Province, Northern Province, and Kigali City. We love you all. We'd like to greet those who follow us from Uganda, Burundi, Mozambique, Zambia, the DRC, Canada, the USA, and many more countries. We appreciate each one of you. Now let's begin. Who are the key figures in Donald Trump's new inner circle? U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's second son and daughter-in-law, an advisor with ties to white supremacists, his former golf caddy, and a genius strategist are among the personalities who will likely play a central role in his second administration. Steve Bannon, Trump's former political strategist from 2016, says that a second Trump presidency is going to be much more hard-hitting. Bannon remains a close outside ally and a prominent figure on the radical right in the U.S. However, due to legal issues, he may not have a direct role in the administration. Let's break down some of these key figures. 1. Elon Musk. The world's richest man and owner of X and Tesla, Musk has offered his influence and resources to support Trump, even suggesting he might join the administration in some capacity. 2. Donald Trump Jr. Known as his father's media-savvy champion, Trump Jr. has become influential within the Republican Party, endorsing J.D. Vance as a vice presidential candidate. 3. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. A former Democratic candidate, Kennedy has joined forces with Trump and may play a significant role, possibly in healthcare, despite his controversial views. Survivors from Trump's 2016 inner circle include figures like 1. Jason Miller, a seasoned communications advisor known for his skill in navigating Trump's temperament. 2. Stephen Miller. Known for his staunch views on immigration, Miller continues to shape Trump's immigration policy. 3. Dan Scavino. Once Trump's golf caddy, Scavino became Trump's deputy chief of staff during his first term, managing social media and other communications. New faces in Trump's circle include 1. Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita. These strategists helped run a disciplined campaign for Trump and may continue to influence his administration. 2. Lara Trump. Representing the Trump family in public, she is now a central figure and co-chair of the Republican Party, maintaining family influence over the party. 3. Kash Patel. Known for his loyalty to Trump, Patel is reportedly a strong candidate to lead the CIA. Political expert Richard Hargey suggests that this inner circle will play a crucial role, particularly if Trump chooses a successor from among them for 2028. These insights give us a sense of how Trump's administration may look and operate. Thank you for your attention, and we'll dive deeper into these figures and what they mean for U.S. politics in our upcoming discussions. The second article we'll discuss today is about the Trump administration taking shape with new roles assigned to key allies and loyalists. President-elect Donald Trump has started naming members of his incoming administration, drawing mostly from his inner circle. Key appointments include a UN ambassador, the head of the Environmental Protection Agency EPA, and a new border czar responsible for leading mass deportations. For foreign policy, Trump has reportedly tapped Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, a significant move since Rubio is known for his strong stance on China and was once a fierce Trump critic. Another notable figure is Florida Congressman Michael Waltz, who may become National Security Advisor. Both Rubio and Waltz are expected to play a central role in Trump's America First approach to foreign policy, focusing on ending the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. Other appointments include New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik as UN ambassador, known for her strong support for Israel, which could influence the United States' stance amid the ongoing conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon. Stephen Miller, a key figure in Trump's previous administration, is set to become Deputy Chief of Staff, managing multiple areas. Trump's team also announced Lee Zeldin as his choice for EPA chief, signaling plans to reduce regulations seen as restrictive by businesses. Trump has plans to bypass Senate approval for some roles, hoping to use recess appointments to avoid the confirmation process. His picks underscore his loyalty-focused strategy, with all appointees being vocal supporters of his policies and his contested 2020 election claims. In summary, Trump is assembling a team aimed at reducing regulations, reshaping U.S. foreign policy, and carrying out large-scale deportations in line with his long-standing promises. The third article covers President-elect Donald Trump's recent call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, in which Trump reportedly urged Putin to avoid escalating the war in Ukraine. According to sources cited by The Washington Post, Trump emphasized the large U.S. military presence in Europe and expressed a desire for continued talks to seek a quick resolution to the conflict. The conversation took place soon after Trump's election victory. However, Trump's communications director, Stephen Chung, did not confirm the call's content, stating they don't comment on private discussions with world leaders. Nevertheless, those familiar with the call claim Trump reminded Putin of America's military strength in Europe, suggesting he aims to end the Ukraine war quickly. This development is seen as significant, given Trump's campaign promise to end the conflict swiftly and his questioning of extensive U.S. support for Ukraine. President Joe Biden's administration, on the other hand, has pledged to provide as much assistance to Ukraine as possible before Trump's January inauguration. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also spoke with Trump, joined by Elon Musk, a notable Trump supporter. Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, mentioned that the current administration is using its remaining funds to support Ukraine's position in any future negotiations. Trump's stance has raised concerns among Ukraine's European allies, who are wary of potential concessions, as many fear this could embolden Russia. Although Trump briefly mentioned the issue of territorial concessions with Putin, no further details were provided. Meanwhile, both sides have intensified their military actions recently, with drone attacks escalating over the weekend. Fourth article describes Malawi's struggle to recover from Cyclone Freddy, which struck in March 2023 and became the longest-lasting tropical cyclone recorded. Over 18 months later, affected communities continue to face isolation, poverty, and health crises like cholera, with insufficient resources for recovery or future resilience against climate-related disasters. The cyclone devastated villages across southern Malawi, where intense rains triggered flash floods and landslides that wiped out homes, livestock, and crops. The human cost was steep. Over 1,000 people died, thousands were injured, and 659,000 were displaced. In the village of Ndala, one of the worst-hit areas, scars of destruction remain evident, with many villagers unable to rebuild or earn a livelihood. Survivors like Sosten Fashion, who was severely injured while attempting to save a family member, are left unable to work, relying on scarce aid to sustain their families. Beyond personal losses, the cyclone destroyed infrastructure, forcing villagers to travel long distances for medical care and disrupting access to clean water, which led to outbreaks of cholera and diarrhea. The loss of school staff housing has forced teachers to leave, causing frequent school closures and disrupting education. Malawi has experienced 5 significant cyclones since 2019, a frequency that officials attribute to climate instability. The World Food Program reports that 73% of Malawians live in areas highly susceptible to such disasters. The government's limited funding constrains its ability to implement large-scale adaptation strategies, such as relocating at-risk populations and developing better infrastructure for evacuation and disaster response. However, residents often resist relocation due to cultural ties to their land and concerns about resources. With COP29 underway, Malawi is pushing for increased climate finance to support vulnerable nations in adapting to climate change, as experts project a 20% GDP loss by 2040 if no action is taken. The village of Ndala has started a risk management committee to prepare for future extreme weather, but they lack basic tools like megaphones for warning systems or accessible roads for evacuation. Malawi's predicament underscores the pressing need for climate adaptation support, as villagers like Fashion and Cement wonder how they will withstand another disaster if international aid does not arrive. Food insecurity crisis in Malawi, where climate change-induced droughts and cyclones have ravaged agriculture, leaving many communities struggling to find sustainable food sources. The article recounts how villagers like those in Kamuga are surviving on mangoes alone, as flooding and drought have devastated maize fields, a staple crop. In March 2023, Cyclone Freddy brought unprecedented rainfall, displacing 700,000 people and wiping out the crops of 2 million farmers. Just months later, an El Niño-induced drought further disrupted agriculture, pushing millions to the brink of starvation. For villagers near the Shire River, sourcing food is dangerous. Crocodile attacks are common as they search for scarce mangoes. With no other options, some families have resorted to eating water lily tubers, which provide little nutritional value. Efforts to adapt to these changes are emerging. In Somo, villagers built a dike funded by Dan Church Aid to redirect floodwaters, but budget constraints limit its protective capacity. Meanwhile, farmers like David Soka have diversified crops, planting drought-resistant and quick-maturing crops such as soybeans and rice. Though these efforts yield limited results, they align with government recommendations to combat the increasingly erratic climate. One successful initiative is a rare irrigation project near Tiangane, which has transformed the area into a productive agricultural zone, allowing for multiple harvests each year. This project, also backed by Dan Church Aid, has lifted 105 families out of poverty. However, such projects remain scarce due to funding shortages, and many farmers lack access to similar resources. Malawi's government and the World Food Program are collaborating on programs promoting diversified, resilient agriculture. Yet, the need for financial support remains urgent, as climate instability continues to threaten Malawi's food security and agricultural livelihoods. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Claude Mabula. If you'd like to support our work, you can send contributions to 2579170822. God bless you all. Goodbye.